Parts of a plant, Year 1 and 2 Science, Lesson 4. So today, Year 1 and 2, we are learning all about the different parts of a plant. Our learning objective today is to be able to name and label parts of a plant. So, let's get started. Hi Year 1 and 2. So, I have found this plant and I'm going to dig it up because I don't really like it there. In fact, there's lots of things I need to do. But I've been digging this one up. I've been using my fork to try and get in to dig it up. And I'm going to see if I can see the roots. You have to get right down deep. Now you can see, pulling it up. Ooh, you see underneath there, there's lots of different roots. I'm going to go a little bit deeper to find all the roots. Here we go. Shake the soil off, and look, they're the roots of the plant. Now what you'll have to do now is you have to cover this hole back over again. And then, if we have a look, you can see all the lovely roots of my plant. I was digging it up, a caterpillar. I have to be really, really careful with him. I don't want to hurt him. So I'm just going to leave him here. And I also found this, which is a teeny tiny bulb. So if I was to plant that was to grow. And here's the roots coming out of the bottom of the bulb. Hi Year 1 and 2. So we're going to do another science lesson today. We're looking at all about the different parts of a plant. So are we ready to learn? Okay, let's get started. So here are two plants that I've dug up. One is a long skinny one and one is quite a bushy plant. And let's have a look. So these are the leaves. And these ones are furry. Can you see there's like lots of little hairs on them? And out the bottom of this one you can see the roots of the plant, which are the ones which was in the soil and are still covered in all the soil. So the roots are actually quite long. So you've got the roots, you've got the leaves, and on this one you can see it a lot better. What is this part here called? Do you know? This part is called the stem. So you've got the roots at the bottom, which are in the ground, the stem, which shoots up first, and then you've got the leaves. And in some plants you have flowers, but in these two we don't have any flowers. Right, this slide is for Year 2 only, so Year 1 you can watch it if you want, but you don't need to do anything with it. So let's look, Year 2, closely at this flower. So we talked about in one of the last slides that did you know the name of one of the parts of the flower, which was a petal? Now, inside a flower, there is something very special, and it's called pollen. It's little bits of yellow. They look a bit like dust in the flower, and here you can see them in the middle of the plant. And sometimes pollen can make people sneeze and can give you hay fever. But the pollen is really, really important, and it helps transfer when an insect lands on a flower. The pollen, like a bee, will get stuck to the bee, and when it flies to another flower it helps make seeds pollen. The other bit you can see here is an anther, and an anther also has lots of pollen on it. So inside the flower we have lots of pollen, and then you can see at the bottom there's the stem. Oh no, look what's happened to this plant. It's all mixed up. I wonder who did that. Here it is, this pesky fox. He has cut up the plant into different pieces. Right, are you going to help me put it back together? Let's get rid of this fox and, there he goes, and see if we can put the plant back together. So let's start at the bottom. What part is at the bottom of the plant? Yeah, we've got the roots at the bottom. There we go. Now the roots are in which part? Are they in the are they up in the grass? They are in the soil. So we need to move the soil. Let's make the soil a little bit bigger. And we'll put the roots inside the soil. Here they go, they're inside the soil. So now we've got the soil, we've got the roots. What comes out of the root? Can you remember? If you can't remember, you can point to it. It is the stem. Here's the stem. So let's put that. Let's put that inside the roots. There we go. So it's coming out. Now, what have we got here? We've got some leaves here, and then we've got the flower on the top. What comes next? Where do the leaves go? All the leaves are attached to the stem, aren't they? And let's put the other leaf on. And then where does the flower go? The flower goes just on the top. Looking very beautiful. So there's our flower, all put back together. That pesky fox, I hope I don't see him around here again. So we've been talking a lot about the different parts of the flower. So let's look in more in detail. So what does a leaf do? What's its job? Well, a leaf makes food for the plants from the air and the sunlight. So all of the sunlight, the leaf catches it and it makes food for the rest of the plant, which is why, if it's sunny, lots of plants grow up taller and stronger and they're brighter colours. Oh, okay, what's the function of the petals? What's the job of the petals? The petals attract insects to the plant. Plants need insects to bring pollen. They have to collect from other flowers so they can make seeds. So this bee is going to fly all the way into this plant, and the pollen, like I said before, is going to get stuck to its furry body. Then if it flies to another plant, it's going to collect some more pollen, and it will transfer the pollen from one plant to another, which helps make seeds, which helps grow more flowers. Petals are bright colours to help attract the insects. The insects or the butterfly will be flying around and say, oh, that's a lovely, nice yellow flower. I'm going to go and investigate. And ladybirds, they drink the nectar, which is like the sweet liquid inside the flower. Now, the roots have a very important role. Do you know what it is? Here they are, the roots in the ground, and here's someone watering it. What do the roots do? Well, the roots absorb minerals and water from the soil. So that's how the plant gets all the water. So you water the plant, and all the roots, they drink up the soil. The roots also help the plant to stay upright in the soil. If there weren't any roots, the plant would very easily fall over if there was a gust of wind, but the roots help the plant stay in the ground and stay upright. So what's the stem's job? Well, the stem carries water around the plant. So the water goes through the roots, and then it goes up the stem, and it goes into the leaves and into the flower at the top. The stem is very important. The stem is like the roots, it also holds the plant upright, and it helps the plants get more sunlight. If the plant was in a shady part, the stem might grow taller, or it might grow to a different direction, so the flower could get lots of sunlight. Can you help me match the parts of the plant to its job? So the first one here is petals. Then we've got leaves, then stem, then roots. Now let's go round and read the jobs. So keep upright and absorbs water from the soil. So let's read them all first. Keeps upright, oh, that's the same, and carries water around the plant. Helps attract insects to the plant and makes food for the plants from air and sunlight. So let's start with the easiest one. Now I think let's go for this one. Helps attract insects to the plant. Ooh. Now something that helps attract would be nice to look at. So it would maybe be nice and colourful. Ooh, what part of the plant is nice and colourful? The petals, the leaves, the stem, or the roots? Yes, the petals. So we're going to draw our line all the way from the petals to there. So we know that one now. Now let's see which one. Now this one says keeps upright and absorbs water from the soil. And this one also says keeps upright. But this one has got a clue because it helps absorb water from the soil. Now, what part of the plant is in the soil? Is it the leaves? Oh, no. Is it the stem? Is it the roots? Oh, it's the roots, isn't it? So we're going to draw our line to there. So now we've got 2 left. And now this one helps keep upright and carries water around the plant. Do you think the leaves help keep the plant upright? No. What about the stem? Oh, that sounds better. Yes, it does help keep the plant upright, doesn't it? And the last one makes food for plants from air and sunlight. Now let's make sure what we've got left, the leaves. Do the leaves help make food from sunlight? Yes, they do. Well done. You've done it. Well done. Thank you for helping. Now it's your turn. Okay, so I have drawn a picture here of a flower, and I have got 3 things. Oh, there should be 4 things labelled. So I would like you to draw a picture of a plant, and label the roots, the stem, the leaves, and the flower or the petal. And year 2, you can do the one that's slightly harder, which is drawing the petal, the pollen in the middle, and see if you can find the anther. The anther's a little bit hard. So remember, year 2 needs to do both, and year 1 you need to do the one. And remember, after you've drawn your lovely flowers and labelled them, you have to do the writing, because that's the whole point of the lesson. After you've labelled them, make sure you get an adult in your house to take a photograph of it and put it onto Google Classroom so I can see it and then I can mark it. Well done for today. See you tomorrow.